AskReddit by Jesse Connolly 76. What is your secret that you are afraid to share with others for fear that it would destroy your life? I'm not scared of heights because I think I'm going to fall. I'm scared of heights because the urge to jump is so intense that I just avoid high places. This is actually super common for people with fear of heights. It's called the high place phenomenon, and it's similar to intrusive thoughts in people with OCD. The brain is so focused on the fear of something happening that it makes you think of the worst thing you can think to happen. The brain is weird. My mum has both vascular dementia and Alzheimer's disease. She was recently diagnosed with heart failure. I pray that the physical ailments take her before she is too far gone from the Alzheimer's. She thinks I am her mum. It's awful. She may not be able to recognize you as you are now, but her heart knows that she loves you, and the only thing her brain can logically connect is you must be her mom because you care for her and you look like family. You look like someone she loves very much. Edit for typos. If it wasn't for my children, I would have committed suicide years ago. Deleted. I work at a large corporation. Every 6 months, I send an email informing my co-workers that I'm having issues with Outlook, and that if you're waiting on me for something, to please reach out immediately. I then move all email in my inbox to an archive folder. If anyone has a dependency or is waiting on me for a response, they reach out, and I sort accordingly. Amazing how much easier it is to manage my schedule when I'm not living out of my inbox. You might be a genius actually. I was glad when my mother finally kicked the bucket. None of her children even went to her funeral. She was that bad. She did nothing for me and my siblings our entire lives and fucked them all over in the end. Good riddance. I thank God every day that my mother and my sister are both dead. I have not paid income taxes in a decade. I don't get any withholding. I don't know how it got away from me like that. At this point I'm afraid to ask. But there. They waited until the penalties and fines hit an outrageous amount, then brought the hammer down and garnished my wages until it was resolved. My recently ex-wife had been in charge of the taxes, so I had no idea until I got a tiny check one day. Ended up homeless and couch surfing for a year because I could no longer make my rent. They will work with you and get on a payment plan if you reach out. If they have to come to you, they are not as nice. I'm a published erotica author. Iconic. Everyone's got skeletons, man. Some secrets are best kept locked up tight, lest they cause chaos. Amateur. I chop mine up and leave them in the septic tank. My brother is the product of a rape. My mom told me. I don't know if she told him. She's passed away now. Don't tell him, it would break him. I use the same word as password for all my accounts. Just the numbers and punctuation marks are different. You should delete this post if true. It's a terrible idea to post info like this on a social media platform which you have an account with. If someone gets into your Reddit account, they'd have easy access to anything else they can find of yours. I am an ex-Muslim who continues to pretend to be a Muslim because I live in a Muslim majority country. Stay safe. That I'm a bitter, angry, miserable human being at my very core. I love the people around me, but I am filled with hatred and I'm afraid it will consume me someday. Me too, friend. How are you dealing with things? Am I living a boring life if nothing even comes to mind? There's a really cool story about a retainer in here somewhere. The only reason I learned that I had a half-brother from dad was because they believed I may be a suitable candidate for a bone marrow transplant. He had leukemia. Wow, that is some cold-hearted shit. You deserve better from your dad. I'm addicted to porn and this is destroying my life in so many aspects that is making me giving up on trying to do anything. First step in recovering from addiction is identifying it. You've done that part. Seek out some help, you deserve a better life. I was abused by my stepdad as a kid and it caused major trust issues with men around my own kids. My real dad is absolutely amazing and never hurt me, but I used to keep him from being alone with my daughter because of my fears. I would never tell him that. I did eventually learn to trust him and he's never hurt my kids or me or anyone else. One time when living with him when my daughter was a baby, I left her with my older brother to go get her dad from work and I got so paranoid I drove back to check on her to see if he was hurting her. They were just playing hide and seek. I lied and said I forgot something and ended what I was going to do. But the whole time I was gone I felt sick and afraid. I was also abused by my stepdad, and when I finally was able to tell my mother, she told me I ruined her marriage. I'm terrified to have a kid. I don't think I can cope with the idea of what I went through happening to them. It guy here. Back in 2010 I did something unforgivable. I bought a Zune. Psychopath. If and when my biological parents do die, it wouldn't bother me at all. My relationship is that bad with them that I just give up. Sometimes you have to divorce your family in order to keep living. I would be happy if I got diagnosed with something that is fatal. I can understand how you feel. IDK if I would be happy about it, but I occasionally think that if I were diagnosed with cancer or something like that, I wouldn't put up much of a fight. I'd make it look good to those around me, but only for their benefit. I also like cock. Ditto. Not into guys though. Just cock. That's why it is a secret. Too hard to explain. I don't identify as bi. Just a straight guy with a dick fetish. Not an orientation. A kink. When I have shared this, people invariably argue with me about me. So I stopped sharing. I had an abortion when I was 19 years old. I never told the father, my parents or anyone. My best friend is the only person who knows. I never even told the guy that I eventually married. I have kids now and I struggle with that secret. I went to an abortion clinic to support a friend. When I was in the waiting room, I saw my best friend's mom. I thought for about 30 minutes that she was there for an appointment, but then his younger sister, 14, maybe 15 came out. That's the first moment they realized that I was there. Their mom kept eye contact with me and shook her head no, and I just nodded back to her. No words exchanged between us. Their mom divorced their dad a few weeks after. Other than my wife, I've never told anyone. He's still my best friend and I'm not sure if his dad was responsible for her pregnancy. I always promised myself that if he had kids that I'd let him know he needs to ask his mom about it just in case. I was the reason for my sister's divorce. Elaborate PLSSS. I have trichotillomania. I have for almost 13 years. I'm now 8 days clean. Proud of you. Be kind to yourself if you relapse. It's harder to get back to the not doing it if you're shaming yourself. My in-laws are not great. Mostly my father-in-law. Sometimes I fantasize they pass and me and my spouse will be free of all the poisonous gossip, emotional and sometimes even mental burden they are. If it weren't for some of my online friends and my partner, I would have killed myself 2 weeks ago yesterday. I thank God for them every day and I'm doing much better now, but still recovering. I am so glad you are here and that you have supportive people in your life. Wishing that you continue to recover.